Hello student. So let's see the nerve plexuses present in our body. So as you know, the spinal cord, it should be consist of the gray matter, and the gray matter have the ventral root and the dorsal root. So the ventral and root that carry the motor impulses and the dorsal root that carry the sensory impulses. So the ventral and the dorsal root laterally it should be joined to form the mixed spinal nerve. As this spinal nerve it should be live from the vertebral foramen, so suddenly it should be divided the ventral rami and the dorsal rami. So the dorsal rami it should be supplied to the posterior part of the body or the back, and the ventral rami it should be supplied to the anterior and the lateral side of the body. So the ventral rami in some region, that is the cervical region, lumbar region, sacral region, coccygeal region, it should be forming that the connection of the spinal nerves. So that is called the plexuses, and this plexuses, that network of the nerve, it supply to the upper limb, lower limb and some pelvic organ. So let's see, and these plexuses they are 5 in numbers. That is the cervical plexus, brachial plexus, lumbar plexus, sacral plexus and the coccygeal plexus. So let's see the detail of each plexus. So before starting the plexuses, let's see that is the nerve root, means that is how that the nerve it should be formed. So any nerve is formed, so it consists of the anterior nerve root and the posterior nerve root. So here you can see that is the anterior nerve root and the posterior nerve root. The anterior nerve root consists of the motor nerve fibers, which are axons of the nerve cells in the anterior column of the gray matter. So here, and in the thoracic and lumbar region, the sympathetic nerve fibers, which are axon cells in the lateral column of the gray matter. Then the posterior root. The posterior nerve root, it consists of the sensory nerve fibers. Just outside the spinal cord, there is a spinal ganglion. So here you can see this is the spinal ganglion. That is called the posterior root ganglion. It consists of a little cluster of cell bodies. The sensory nerve fibers passes through this ganglion before entering into that the spinal cord. The area of skin supplied by each nerve, it is called the dermatomes. Then the nerve root, so this one. So for a very short distance after leaving the spinal cord, the nerve root have covering of the dura mater and the arachnoid matter. So here you can see this one, that is the covering of dura mater and the arachnoid matter. So this one. The terminate before the two roots join to form a mixed spinal nerve. So here that is the sensory root and the motor root, it should be joined to forming a single root, that is called the mixed nerve root or the mixed spinal nerve. The nerve root have no covering of the pia mater. So pia mater, that is only have, that is the ventral and the dorsal root. So here you can see when the nerve is formed, the pia mater covering it is not present. Then immediately after emerging from the intervertebral foramen, so that is the intervertebral foramen, each spinal nerve divides into that the anterior ramus, this one, or ventral ramus, and this is the posterior ramus or the dorsal ramus. So the rami communications are a part of preganglionic sympathetic neuron of the autonomic nervous system. Then the posterior ramus, so this one or rami, passes backwards and divide into a medial and lateral branches to supply the skin and muscles of relatively very small area of the posterior aspect of head, neck and the trunk. Then the ventral or the anterior rami, it supply the anterior and the lateral aspect of the neck, trunk and the upper and the lower limb. In cervical, lumbar and the sacral region, the anterior rami, this one, unite near their origin to form a large masses of nerve, that is called the plexuses. So here in this diagram you can see that is, this is the ventral rami, they should be joined with each other to forming that the plexuses of the nerve. So here in this diagram you can see that is the ventral root which is motor, the dorsal root which is sensory, and they should be formed, that is the mixed spinal nerve. And as it is live from the intervertebral foramen, so it should be divided, that is the dorsal ramus, the ventral ramus. The dorsal ramus, it should be supplied to the posterior part of the body, and the ventral ramus, it should be supplied to the lateral and the anterior part of the body, and it should be forming the network of plexus into the cervical lumbar sacral region. So that is called the plexuses, and before it should be form the ganglion. So here you can see that is called the sympathetic ganglion, and this sympathetic ganglion, it plays important role in the autonomic nervous system. So that is the all ganglions of the particular spinal nerve, it should be forming that the ganglionic chain on both side of the spinal cord. So that is the ganglionic chain forming the autonomic nervous system. So here, that is, the nerve fibers are regrouped and rearranged before producing to supply the skin, bone, muscles and the joints of the posterior or the particular area. This means that those structure have the nerve supply from more than the single spinal nerve, and therefore the damage to a single spinal nerve does not cause the loss of the function of that region. So in the thoracic region, the anterior rami do not form any type of the plexus. So the 5 large plexuses of mixed nerve form each side of the vertebral column. So they are cervical plexus, brachial plexus, lumbar plexus, sacral plexus and the coccygeal plexus. So let's see that each plexus in detail. So let's see that is the cervical plexus. So it is formed by the anterior rami of the first 4 cervical nerve. That means here the C1, C2, C3 and C4 spinal nerve. So it lies deep within the neck, opposite to the first, second, third and fourth cervical vertebra, under the protection of the sternocleidomastoid muscle. The superficial branches supply to the structure at the back and the side of the head and skin of the front of the neck to the level of sternum. Then the deep branches supply the muscles of neck, that is the sternocleidomastoid muscle and the trapezius muscle. The phrenic nerve, so here this one you can see, this is the phrenic nerve, originate from the cervical root of the C3, C4 and C5. So here that is the root C3, C4 and the C5, and passes downwards through the thoracic cavity in front of the root of lung to supply the diaphragm, initiating the inspiration. The disease or the spinal cord injury at this level will result in the death due to the apnea without association of the ventilation. So that is the cervical plexus. So after the cervical plexus, let's see that is the brachial plexus. So brachial plexus, it consists of the root, trunk, division and the cords. So let's start from the roots. So roots consist of the anterior primary rami of C5, C6, C7, C8 and the T1, with the contribution of sometimes that is the C4 and the T2. So that prefix, that is called the prefix and the postfix type of the plexuses. So in the contribution of the C4 is large and the T2 is totally absent. So that is called the prefix type of the brachial plexus. And postfix type of brachial plexus, that consists of the contribution of C4 is absent and the T2 is large. So that is called the postfix. After then the roots. So then after then they take the trunks. So root of the C5 and C6. So here you can see the C5 and C6, it should be joined to form, that is the upper trunk. Then the C7, it form the middle trunk. So here yellow color you can see, that is the upper trunk, this is the middle trunk. And root C8 and the T1, it should be forming, that is the lower trunk. So the trunk, it should be forming, that is the upper trunk, this one orange color, the middle trunk and the lower trunk. So this trunk, it should be formed by, that is the 5 roots, C5, C6, C7, C8 and the T1. Then the division. So each trunk is divided into the ventral and the dorsal division. So upper trunk, it should be divided, the ventral and dorsal division, pink color here you can see, that is ventral plain pink color, and dorsal, that is the dash dash dash. Then the middle trunk, it is again divided, that is the ventral plain and the dorsal dash dash. And the lower trunk, it is again divided, that is ventral plain and the dorsal dash dash. After then, let's see, that is the chords. So this one. So chords, it should be forming, that the 3 chord. First, that is the lateral chord. So lateral chord, it is formed by the ventral division of the upper and the middle trunk. So that is the plain part, it is ventral division, the plain part, it is ventral division. So that is the upper and the middle trunk of the ventral division. It should be formed here, that is the lateral chord. So green color, it shows, that is the lateral chord. Then the medial chord, it is formed by the ventral division of the lower trunk. So here, that is the ventral division, that is the lower trunk, this one orange color lower trunk, and this pink, it is the ventral division. So it is continue as the medial chord. And then the posterior chord. So posterior chord, it is formed by the union of dorsal division of all 3 trunks, means upper trunk, middle trunk and the lower trunk के dorsal division, that should be joined to form this one, that is the posterior trunk. Then so in this way, that is the 3 chords are formed, that is the lateral chord, the posterior chord and the median chord. Then the branches of the plexuses, or the branches of the brachial plexus. So let's see the branches of the roots. So from root, that is the 2 branches are come out, that is long thoracic nerve. So here from C5, C6, C7, that is this nerve is come. So it is called the long thoracic nerve. And the second nerve, that is the dorsal scapular nerve, which is comes out from the C5. So this one. So that is the 2 nerves which is originate from the roots. After then, the branches of the trunk. So this one. So the trunk gives only 2 branches, and that is the upper trunk. That is, first is the suprascapular nerve, and second one, that is the nerve to the subclavius, which are originate from the both C5 and the C6. After then, that is the branches of the cord. So this one. So first, that is the branches from the lateral cord. So from this lateral cord. So the lateral cord, it gives the lateral pectoral nerve. So this one, lateral pectoral nerve. Then the musculocutaneous nerve. So here, that is the musculocutaneous nerve. Third branch, that is the lateral root of the median nerve. So this one, the lateral root of median nerve. So that is the 3 branches, it should be given by the lateral cord. Then the branches from the median cord. So this one, that is the median cord. So median cord, it gives the median pectoral nerve, first branch, the median pectoral nerve. Second branch, it gives the median cutaneous nerve of the arm. So this one, the median cutaneous nerve of the forearm. Then the next one, that is the median cutaneous nerve of the forearm. This one. Then next to it, that is the ulnar nerve. So this one, that is the ulnar nerve. And last one, that is the median root of the median nerve. So here median root of the median nerve. So these are the branches which is given by, that is the median cord. After then the branches of the posterior cord. So this one. So posterior cord, it gives first upper subscapular nerve. So this one. Second branch, that is the lower subscapular nerve. This one. Third one, that is nerve to latissimus dorsi. This one. Then next to the axillary nerve. So here you can see that is the axillary nerve, or that is also called the circumflex nerve. And last one, that is the radial nerve. So this one. After then, that is the lateral root of the median nerve and the median root of the median nerve, which is come out from, that is the lateral cord and the median cord. It should be joined to form, that is the median nerve. So in this way, that is the three major nerve which are comes out from the brachial plexus. One, that is the ulnar nerve, this one which is goes medially, then the radial nerve which is gone posteriorly, and the median nerve which is goes on the anterior side of the arm and the forearm. Okay, so these are the brachial plexus and its branches. Then let's see, that is the clinical points related with that the brachial plexus. First clinical point related with the brachial plexus, that is the Erb's paralysis. So in this, injury to that the upper trunk. In this, that is the arm hangs by a side and it is adducted and medially rotated. The forearm is extended and the pronated. So here you can see. So this is called the Erb's paralysis. So in this, that is the position of the patient is like the policeman receiving a tip position of the upper limb. After then, let's see, that is the next clinical point, that is the clump's paralysis. So here the clump paralysis. So in this condition, that is the injury should be occurs into that the lower trunk and injured the intrinsic muscles of the hand and ulnar flexure of the wrist and the finger. So the clinical features, that is the claw hand. So here you can see, that is the claw hand position, cutaneous anesthesia or the analgesia that should be occurs. So that is called the clump's paralysis. Then the next clinical point, surgically approach to the axilla. So surgically through the skin of the floor of the axilla for the excision of the axillary lymph node to treat the cancer of the breast, the structures at the risk during this procedure, that is the intercostal brachial nerve, that is the long thoracic nerve, thoracodorsal nerve, thoracodorsal artery, and the effort should be made to safeguard the above structure. And if that may be injury should be occur, so that may be fatal for the patient. So the next clinical point, that is the Horner's syndrome. So here, so if T1 is injured proximal to white ramus communicans to the first thoracic sympathetic ganglion, there is the ptosis, means that is the drooping of the upper eyelid, that is miosis, then the enophthalmos and the loss of ciliospinal reflexes. It may be associated, and this may be occurs because of the injury to the sympathetic fibers to the head and the neck that leave the spinal cord through the nerve, that is the T1 spinal nerve. So these are the clinical points related with the brachial plexus.